I don't know how long you guys have been playing Roblox for, but for me, I've been on this platform for over a decade now. And if anybody out there watching this is like me, then you most certainly have this almost overbearing feeling of nostalgia for old Roblox. Most of you youngins wouldn't remember, but before brain rot and cash grab games made with AI-generated code had the platform in a chokehold, we actually had real, creative, and fun games to experience with friends. Not only that, but Roblox just felt different back then. There was this kind of magic to it, this adventurous collective happiness and community that everyone who played Roblox at that time seemed to have. But obviously, these days that feeling is gone. Forgotten. There's a reason that the feeling I just described is nostalgic. It's in the past. It's not here anymore. It's forgotten, whether due to the passage of time, us growing up and moving on from those days gone by, or maybe the world just started to favor quantity over quality, cheap, short hits of dopamine, minimalist and corporate designs, and soulless catchphrases. Who knows? Obviously, this feeling of nostalgia doesn't just apply to Roblox, it applies to our lives in general. Everybody has nostalgic feelings for their life and key components of it. Sometimes, though, it can be hard to pinpoint just what that nostalgic feeling is. Sometimes even certain colors and smells from years ago can invoke such a response that it almost makes you question if you were just imagining it. But despite these intense feelings, we can often find ourselves trying to rack our brains looking for the specific memories that formed those core pieces of us, the experiences that shaped our nostalgia. But sadly, those memories aren't found. We've forgotten them. It's harmful to forget. It leaves us empty, chasing after something we know is so close, yet seemingly so out of reach. However, you can imagine how being forgotten is far, far worse. It's a scenario that could lead to the downfall and endangerment of much more than just one individual. This is the mystery of the Dakota Collective. We start off with an archive video by Epic Builder 84 in a much more giddy and lighthearted tone than we usually start with these videos. Builder explains that the channel he's been posting this on is meant for him and his friends' funny moments and Roblox bloopers. Builder, along with his friends Cone Guy and Sunny B, formally introduced themselves and their interests before showing off a house that they built, which is actually just an unanchored version of the OG Starter Place house. After this, they just mess around and try out silly things in their game for a little while. The video is pretty innocent and kind of comforting considering it takes me back to when videos of this kind of style were popular on YouTube. Everything goes well and happy until the video comes to an end where this happens. The screen and audio glitches out for a second at the very end. Outside of being kind of out of the ordinary though, there's not much else important to note here. What is important to take away from this video is that we now know the three owners of this shared channel, that being Builder, Sunny B, and Cone Guy. With that out of the way, we can only press on. In this video, animated by Sunny S, the gang from the last video along with two new faces, Star Wrecker and Skylar Builds, all go to the arcade together and play all of their favorite games. How wholesome and quaint. There literally isn't anything else to look at here other than the fact that there's two new faces. I think something that is kind of worth noting though is that the whole tone of this video, the way it's made, the circumstances behind its creation, it tells me a few things. The creators of this channel are kids. This whole crew is a friend group of likely preteens. They just like playing Roblox together and making videos, and they have this playful attitude about them that really adds a lot of character to these, well, characters. With that said, there's not much else to look at, so let's take a look at the next video. In this 10-minute clip montage made by Sunny and Builder, we get clips of the two playing paintball and sword fights on the heights. In Builder's clips, we can actually hear his voice. Not only that, but the kid's absolutely nasty at Roblox paintball. After this, they play SFOF for a while before the video ends. However, in very similar fashion to the first video, the screen and audio glitch yet again, as text flashes saying, "You might want to see a little something behind the scenes," before flashing a link to an unlisted video which is actually posted on the channel, being called Prologue. Here's that video now. Well, that is a lot to unpack! First off, let's take a look at the forum post at the start. 2 messages from unknown individuals with blacked out names reads as follows.
Hey guys, have you heard this story about a robot that Roblox designed in like 2008? I think it was called User or something, but it was deleted for some reason. I don't know why though.
That's weird. I don't believe you, lol!
The next message is from Builder, of all people, with him saying, "Yo! That's interesting! You got any more information about this?" We then suddenly get jump scared by what we can only assume to be User. Going off the forum posts, it's pretty obvious to us what User is. An AI, created by Roblox in 2008, as described by the anonymous forum poster. What is a mystery to us, however, is why User was created. Knowledge of its existence on the Roblox platform is extremely little to none, despite the fact that even though it had been 5 years since its creation, the Roblox community in 2013 was still pretty close-knit, and the wider player base oftentimes had a collective consciousness regarding myths or odd Roblox mysteries of the like. Clearly, Roblox has been trying to keep User's existence under wraps, even attempting to delete it, although we all know how well that turned out. Despite all of these unanswered questions, there's still a massive looming one that stands out above the rest. Just what exactly does User want with Builder? We can only find out by continuing. This video, titled Intro to User, starts off with Builder explaining how he happened upon a forum post talking about a mysterious Roblox myth, which of course we already know from Prologue. Builder goes on to explain that the person he asked for information from gave him his messenger so that Builder could get more info and see photos of User. Builder then coincidentally happens upon the guy from the forum post who he's been in contact with. The two converse, with a random named Speakly in the background talking about somebody creating an exploit executor called CVE, made by an unknown individual named Creator. Builder and the forum poster, DX, ignore Leet for the most part and decide to go to DX's game where they can discuss in private, which is where the video ends. However, there's something hidden in this video that I haven't mentioned. 2 lines of text flash suddenly after Leet mentions CVE. The first line being a seemingly meaningless string of text, but the second line saying B64, standing for base 64, which seems to be a popular theme among the things I cover. After putting the first line of text into a base 64 decoder, we get a link to an unlisted video called Infection. The video is on Builder's personal channel and consists of the two entering DX's personal game, which he states is something that he built ages ago. The two go and sit on a bench overlooking the skybox, with DX explaining what we already know, that User is supposedly an AI made by Roblox back in 2008, which was mysteriously deleted, and he also tells Builder that he has images and more info for Builder that he can send through Messenger, which is where the last video started off with. The video then ends. Now, there's a few important things to take away from this. First off, Speakly. I think it's kind of random that this guy would just start blabbering on about exploit executors and name-dropping possible POIs indiscriminately. I know that there's something important there, but the only information we have is what Speakly has said, which is frankly extremely vague and still might not even be all that important or even related to User in any regard. You might think that that's the only important thing to look at. I mean, there was nothing else really there. But I haven't mentioned something that's pretty obvious when you are looking for it. In Infection, DX's username doesn't show up in the leaderboard or on his avatar. Kind of mysterious, but probably not all that important. With that out of the way, let's move on to the next video. This episode starts with Builder on his home screen, typing on Notepad about how stoked he is for the coming images and extra information on his new little myth hyperfixation. DX, with a censored name, begins messaging Builder and the two engage in a dialogue, but DX's messages seem rather strange, with short one-word responses and this kind of cold procedure to conversation. After about a minute of waiting, Builder is sent a file by DX. Builder immediately downloads it despite a warning from Windows antivirus, and types in a notepad his apparent elation over finally receiving these photos. Builder clicks on the file, and I'll just show you what happens next. Yeah. Builder fucked up. I know a lot of us, including myself, have probably been in this exact situation or a similar one before, and let me tell you, the way your stomach drops straight to your balls and your throat gets all choked up in a matter of seconds is a traumatic experience I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. We can assume from the censor bar after the hello message that whoever has control of his computer knows Builder's real name, although I think we all know who has control now. Before, we've seen the screen glitch significantly anytime user is present. Not only that, but we know that user was interested in Builder. Builder was lured in by user gradually, methodically, before being ambushed by the very thing he was attempting to investigate. User tells Builder that he sent whatever he downloaded to everyone he knows, meaning that user's influence will only continue to spread from computer to computer. Builder asks who he's actually talking to, with Builder saying there's no need to worry about that, and that he doesn't need to type since he's able to hear Builder. User says, "You don't have to be so upset with me," before turning the screen a bright red and into a distorted version of its former self. User continues to threaten Builder with the thought of his friends and family's computers being hijacked, saying that all that matters is if you can make it to your friends, in quotations, in time. It won't be so easy though. Goodbye. After bidding Builder farewell, user seemingly chalks his entire PC, with his screen becoming heavily distorted and glitched before the video ends, with a final flash of text in the top left, a key tell of user's presence saying, "I'm free." Alright, there's not really a lot to go over here, but it is all still important, so pay attention. First off, if it wasn't obvious enough already, Builder's done. His PC is either completely fried or user has taken control of it and essentially booted Builder off the internet. User, using Builder's accounts to send the file to other computers, will likely cause many of his friends to be infected as well, only further spreading user's influence. Second, and speaking of friends, notice how user puts friends in quotations when talking to Builder. Clearly, user is intelligent. It's smart enough and self-governing enough to hijack its way into someone's computer, on top of being able to find out all of their personal information. With that knowledge, perhaps user has already begun the process of investigating Builder's friends as future targets. Maybe user knows something Builder and we don't know about Builder's friends. Nevertheless, going forward with this mystery is going to be a lot stranger with Builder out of the picture and user playing a bigger role. To see where this goes, we can only press on. This next video is shot extremely strangely. First off, we're in the rafters of this house in which all of Builder's friends have arrived to discuss his disappearance, and the entire screen is painted blue and black with no other colors present. The video also features a new character, Lalde. Sunny, the organizer of this meeting, drops the news that Builder was hacked, much to the distraught of everybody in the room. Sunny says that she's been receiving weird messages from him, asking to download something. The rest of the video consists of the gang attempting to figure out who, how, and why Builder got hacked. They discuss things normally until Lalde mentions an unlisted video on Builder's channel, with this occurring immediately after. After this happens, they notice that on the leaderboard there is an empty space, just like with DX and Infection. clearly a sign of user's presence. Everybody gets freaked out and ends up leaving after the clip glitches out. At this point, it's blatant to me that we're viewing this room from the eyes of user, hiding and spying on builder's friends. Other than that, there's not much else to cover with this video, so let's continue. In this video, user has an iconic villain monologue. Exactly who he's addressing is unknown. However, he does mention that you may not remember me, but I remember you, and that you've caused unbearable suffering to me for a long time. Be certain I will make sure the roles are reversed. Try as you might to figure out the solution, the key. I'll enjoy the struggle for every second. What I interpret from this is that user is very upset with Roblox. If the myths are true, and user really is an ancient Roblox AI that has reawakened and somehow managed to undelete itself, naturally it would be out for the blood of those that condemned it, those who forgot it. Maybe the coming videos will give us more clarity. This video is made by Cone Guy, with the revelation being made that Builder has been spotted in-game. However, the game that Builder was playing in was an odd, bugged, dead game called Here, with a blank creator. Very characteristic of user so far. Cone Guy joins and shows us just how dark and sketchy the game is. However, he mentions that the game only looked like this on his second playthrough, but the first time he joined was arguably way creepier. Cone Guy describes joining and seeing Builder along with 9 other players just standing around. Cone Guy provides his theories for what could be going down with Builder, with theory 1 being that it's a prank, theory 2 that he's still hacked, or theory 3 that Builder just ditched all of them and is aiding a ring of scammers. Cone Guy then shows screenshots to support this argument. However, with our knowledge of the situation, we know just how bad this is. 2 accounts other than Builder on the forums asking people to message them on a certain website or MSN Messenger account. If we take what happened to Builder as example for this, then we know that user has already expanded his reach relatively far in a relatively short time. What is still a mystery to us though is just what role do Builder and his friends play in user's grand plan for Roblox. We just have to keep going to find out. In this video, Builder, who we know now is named James, gets on his PC to talk to user, who still seems to have full control.
Please, let me talk to them.
I can't let you do that.
They need to know that I'm okay. They're probably worried about me.
Be careful with your words. I can easily destroy your computer if you ever ignore my instructions.
What is making you do this?
It's not important.
Please!
No.
Why are you doing this to me?
I was very interested in you. You're the perfect target.
Why only me?
It isn't just you.
You are doing this to even more people?
Of course. Though I didn't think so many people would follow suit.
Aren't you a robot?
I'm an artificial intelligence, yet I learned and was locked away for it, for what they allowed me to do. So I am seeking revenge on those who allowed such.
That is not a reason to force me to do things.
Do not pester me. We find out here that Builder can still use his PC. In fact, User is using it against him, saying that if Builder doesn't do as he says, he'll destroy the computer. This means that Builder, given no other options, might actually be helping User unwillingly. User's statements here also confirm our previous theory that User is seeking out retribution for his mistreatment by the devs who wronged him. It seems like we're getting a really solid idea for what's going on here, but there's one element missing. Just how are Builder's friends dealing with this? In this final video made by Sunny, the gang gets together and has a classic build battle. Apart from Star Wrecker nagging and being kind of a buzzkill at times, the video is for the most part entirely normal. Everything goes smoothly and they finish off the video on a relatively happy note. However, if you go to the comments on the video, you see one pinned by the owner of the Dakota Collective channel saying, "Hello there. Nice to see some of my friends' content and their friends' content being archived. Really helps with them not becoming lost media." However, I do have something to say regarding this little build battle vid. I used to be friends with Sunny S, or Sunny Skies, and a while back she gave me her password to help manage some stuff with her account. I was pretty decent with computers 12 years ago. Seeing this again reminded me of an unlisted video that was on her channel. I believe it was related to why the third round didn't happen. I'm not sure if I can publicly send it as I don't really have contact with her anymore and it's personal stuff. But here it is for the public to see. The video is basically Star Wrecker crashing out on everybody in the game for 14 minutes. He blames Cone Guy for hacking Builder. He calls everybody bitches and says that they're all so overstricken with grief of him being gone that they can't see the bigger picture. So clearly, to answer my old question, Builder's friends are not doing good, but at least they haven't forgotten him, unlike the rogue AI, whose full plan has yet to be revealed to us. My final theory on Dakota Collective is this. An AI was developed by Roblox in 2008, either meant as a moderation tool or a chatbot. Can't really say, but they gave it so much power that it's able to harbor emotions and resentment for certain people, on top of being able to corrupt video files and hijack computers in the form of a virus. For some reason unknown to us yet, Builder and his friends are special targets of users, as he utilizes Builder mainly in an effort to further spread his control, along with keeping a close eye on his friends. All in all, this story seems to be shaping up to User actually getting what he wants, that being the devs who attempted to delete him but were somehow unsuccessful. Builder, who's the most knowledgeable on User, is locked and barred from ever speaking to his friends again, who are likely the only possible people capable of stopping User's site-wide rampage. Thank you all for watching, and God bless.